Loss of innocence in the picture of Dorian Gray and the time traveler's wife. Let's begin by talking about The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. The one who is the subject of this loss is Dorian Gray, the main character of the book. At first, he is described as being a beautiful young man with a pure character. With his looks, he is able to enchant everyone, women and men alike. Even so, he is unaware of the importance his beauty holds, and is still at this time a morally correct person. Basil Howard is the artist that paints Dorian's portrait. He serves to symbolize the side of morality and innocence that Dorian later chooses to ignore. Eventually, Dorian is lured by the more self-centered point of view of life of Lord Henry. His philosophy and way of thinking sparks Dorian's attention. Lord Henry proceeds to corrupt Dorian's innocence, and the following quote shows it the best. "The only way to get rid of temptation is to yield to it. Resist it, and your soul grows sick with longing for the things it has forbidden itself, with desire for what its monstrous laws have made monstrous and unlawful. It has been said that the great events of the world take place in the brain. It is in the brain and the brain only that the great scenes of the world take place also. You, Mr. Gray, you yourself with your rose-red youth and your rose-white boyhood, you have had passion that made you afraid, thoughts that have filled you with terror, daydreams and sleep dreams, whose mere memory might stain your cheeks with shame." After Lord Henry said this, Dorian's reaction was the following. "Stop!" faltered Dorian Gray. "Stop! You bewilder me! I don't know what to say. There is some answer to you, but I cannot find it. Don't speak. Let me think, or rather, let me try not to think." After his first encounter with Henry, Dorian's innocence starts to slowly fade away. The first sign is when he realizes that he will grow old and gets jealous at the eternal beauty of his self-portrait. Eventually, thanks to Heron's influence and corruption, Dorian decides to immerse himself into a life of sin and indulge in all the pleasures that the world has to offer. He not only becomes more interested in his social life and social events, but he also surrenders to his carnal desires and even commits crimes. But he later regrets this in the novel. Was it really true that no one could ever change? He felt a wild longing for the unstained purity of his boyhood, his rose-white boyhood, as Lord Henry had once called it. He knew that he had tarnished himself, filled his mind with corruption and given horror to his fancy, that he had been an evil influence to others and had experienced a terrible joy in being so, and that of lives that had crossed his own, it had been the fairest and most full of promise that he had brought to shame. But was it all irretrievable? Was there no hope for him? The loss of his own innocence caused him to later regret his own actions. It drove him mad, knowing that there was no way that he could change his past or fix his own sinful actions. This is what later caused him to go mad and led him to his demise at the end of the novel. Now, The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffenger. The loss of innocence impacts both of the main characters, Henry and Claire. In this novel, this theme serves as a way to contrast childhood and adulthood, and how this can impact the lives of people. It serves as a love letter to the struggle that comes with being an adult, as well as sharing your life with someone. Henry's case is a special one. He is able to time travel unwillingly. This special trait manifests itself when he was 5 years old. From then on, it caused him to lose his innocence at that young age. The following quote summarizes it the best. "It would fill me with a feeling I later tried to duplicate with alcohol and finally found again with Claire. A feeling of unity, oblivion, mindlessness in the best sense of the word. His predicament led him to experience heartbreaking moments several times, as well as make him do immoral things. When he time travels, he has to steal things from other people in order to survive, since his clothes do not materialize with him. This unstable life caused him to turn into alcohol, drugs, and carnal desires, just like Dorian, in order to feel the present and that he exists in the now. He changes later on because he doesn't want to corrupt Claire. Claire comes from a really wealthy family and has known Henry from a really long time. The fact that someone as fantastical as Henry exists makes her question the preconceived view of the world that she had. In the novel, Claire talks with Henry about the same topic. She says the following: "We did a lot of things. It changed depending on my age and the weather. You spent a lot of time helping me do my homework. We played games, mostly we just talked about stuff. When I was really young, I thought you were an angel. I asked you a lot of questions about God. When I was a teenager, I tried to get you to make love to me, and you never would, which of course made me much more determined about it. I think you thought you were gonna rape me sexually, somehow. In some ways, you were very parental." The way Claire exhibits loss of innocence is by showing her transition from a child to an adult. Not only that, but the book also includes certain events to show this, such as Claire going to parties when she was a teen and when she was abused by her first boyfriend. She is confronted with several problems that take the innocence away from her. She has to deal with the unstable relationship with Henry, and she is later faced with more tragedies, one of them being unable to have a child. Even so, they try to make the best of it and go on with their lives as long as they can.